Welcome to the board of the Bantu. My name is Isobel and I am your local witch doctor. Okay, so today I'm somehow feeling very connected to my ancestors, and so I am going to open the board of the Bantu talking about them. Okay? Okay, my grandmother was a married woman. She got married at 15 years of age, a very long time ago. And she was a mother of a newborn baby. She was very much married to Chief Seke. And she was the wife of a chief, and she was very spoiled according to the people, according to folklore. And she was the most beautiful, beautiful girl in the whole village, okay? And she married a 40-something-year-old widower because his wife had died, and she gave birth to a baby girl, my aunt. And she was a promiscuous girl. She met a man from South Africa, and she had an affair with him. And she got pregnant and gave birth to my dad. My grandfather, I call him grandfather. I call my Xhosa grandfather actual, because he is blood. And I call this grandfather that I know and I adored and have so many memories over, and who named me my very first name in the world, which I still love more than anything, my grandfather. So my grandfather said to the village and to everybody, he accepts this child, even though he knew the child wasn't his, because my grandma had a habit of running away from her husband and then either coming back pregnant or with a baby. This was the first time she was doing it with my dad. She came back pregnant, and my grandfather said he will adopt my dad. He will take care of my dad. My dad will become his own. My dad will be his in every single way. And they will never ever speak about that man, whoever he was and where he was from. And that's how my dad was raised. My dad was raised in his Shona culture, which he loved the most and which he bowed to, and of which there was no other culture. My grandma, the one who talks to you and laughs with you and everything, proceeded to do the same thing several times. And so she had children with different men, and she would bring them back home to her husband, his suffering husband, and her husband would take the kids. So in my family line, it wasn't my grandfather who brought kids from out of wedlock home. It was my grandmother. Okay. It was my grandmother. We did not know about the Xhosa history and the Xhosa at all until we died. On my dad's tombstone, they wrote it, but it didn't make, we made an assumption. They did write that he was from Makanda in South Africa. It's on his tombstone, but me as a person, I cannot speak for all his other children, but me as a person, I just say to myself, okay, Zimbabweans in general are immigrants. There are people who came from different parts of Africa. They're immigrants. It's a country of immigrants, very intelligent immigrants. We decided to create one language, so that they could understand each other. And it's the cohesiveness of Zimbabweans as children of air that keeps them so united and as one. But they were all immigrants. They all came from different parts. So when I read that on my dad's tombstone, I just said, oh, well, I assumed that even my grandfather was from Makanda in South Africa. I assumed that everybody in the village was from Makanda, South Africa. So I just said, oh, okay, we're all the same over here. You know what I mean? We're all the same. So we now know that we came from the Eastern Cape of South Africa, and goodness, kudos for us. I was happy until I was walking through my witch doctor journey. Then it all changed, and then the truth came out, right? And that's another story. The truth came out. But those who are born to the Bantu, the Bantu, you know what I mean. And you know, you are claimed when you are psychic and you are a chosen, and you know that you are a chosen. You are claimed by your blood. You are not claimed by your adoptive blood. You are claimed by your blood. And they come out and they talk, you know, and they tell you where they're from and who they are, and they speak in the language, in their language, right? Basically, that's what happened to me. The Xhosa came out. The Xhosa claimed their baby girl. The Xhosa said, this is our child. This is our child, right? The Xhosa showed the family lineage, and the Xhosa stamped their seal on their child. And they say to the Shona, you cannot have her. You cannot take her. You are her maternal line, but we are her family. She is not Shona, she is Xhosa. People always say, I don't know who my father is. And I always say, when you take this journey, this metaphysical journey, you're going to find your people. You may not find your father, but you're going to find your people. You will find your people, no matter how deeply hidden the secret is in the family tree. You're going to find it. It's going to pop up. This is better than a DNA test. You're going to find it. It's going to pop up. And in my case, it came roaring to the surface. In Xhosa too. Okay, and nobody could understand the language. Nobody could understand it. It was very confusing. It was very difficult. It was a maze. But, you know, here we are. So I'm opening the board of the Bantu in the name of all the Bantu who were not born to their biological families. Those of you who were born to mothers who ended up with other husbands and in other families. Those of you who were born to mothers who lied that you are the daddy because he was easier to handle than the other daddy whom she had been having fun with. Those of you who feel they don't know their roots, this board of the Bantu by the Xhosa is dedicated to you because their baby girl, me, went through the same thing. Okay, so the board is now open, and I am going to be celebrating my birthday. The link is below. Like I said before in the last video, this is not a for-profit function. I just want to be happy. I just want to spend some time with women. I'm really basically just inviting the girls. But, you know, if you're a boy and you want to come, it would be nice to see you too. I'm just naturally more comfortable around girls. And my culture is that women, we usually just socialize as girls. Back me up, the Xhosa. Back me up, the Shona. We usually just socialize as girls. Right? And our men socialize as men. Then we meet in the bedroom, and I'm okay with that. Okay? I'm okay with that. So I'm really just like inviting the girls, but because this is the Western world, I'm inviting the boys too. I went to a TJ Maxx kind of thing and I bought a dress, so I'm ready. I'm ready for my birthday. I'm beginning to feel the excitement, the joy, and you're all invited. It's in Toronto. I'm gonna put the link down there. You can, you know, you're just coming with your money to pay for your meal. There is absolutely no entrance fee. There is nothing like that. I just want to be free and happy in the month of my birth, and I hope you get to celebrate it with me, because last year on my birthday, I did have great people. South Africans did bring me cake. They did bring me cake and champagne and a gift and all that jazz. You know, I was staying at an Airbnb. The owner of the Airbnb, she was so good to me. And she and her daughter and her son-in-law, they came to wish me happy birthday. And that's just as well, because last year, October, it was horrible for me. So this year, October, I want to celebrate You know, I want to feel at peace. I want to feel like I've closed a circle, and that circle will never ever open again. I want to laugh. I want to smile. I want to share my stories. I want to share my life. I want you to walk the path that I walked, and to get to know me a little more, and I get to know you a little more. So it's going to be really casual. Like I said, I went to a TJ Maxx kind of place. It's actually part of TJ Maxx. We call it Winners over here. So I didn't spend much money, you know, and I am coming to spend time with you all, and to laugh and talk and eat some raw fish, because sashimi. I'm coming to eat some sashimi, and I'm coming to laugh with you all and just feel human. For once, I don't want to be in the gray. I don't want to be a citizen of the gray. I want to be a citizen of Earth. So you're all invited, 22nd February in Toronto. Okay, and they need numbers. The Japanese restaurant needs numbers because they gave us a room. So if you could please sign up as soon as you can, so that my organizer, Jan, will be able to tell the restaurant that this number of people are coming. That would be so cool. Okay, so now I begin. Nick and oh, another announcement. I will be going on OnlyFans. I'm calling it the Isobel Mitton Metaphysical Diaries, which is exactly what they will be. Just stories. I'm just going to be recording my stories. I'm not going to be writing them down. I'm going to be recording them and uploading them on OnlyFans. As I get them, I'll just sit in front of the camera and I'll just share, because somebody told me it'll be good therapy for me, and I really believe it will be. I chose OnlyFans because it's the only platform I think I can use that doesn't have the hacking algorithm, and I don't know how much I'm gonna charge for that. That's my secret diary, you guys. But you know, I am putting it out there because it's my nature. Yes, it is. You know, I could have got on OnlyFans to take off my clothes, but you know, I chose to do this. Okay, I chose to do this instead. Okay, so we are doing the final. I decided to stop at Orlando Brown. It's Nick Cannon, because so far he has floored me with his truth. Okay, I went into the reading of Orlando Brown wanting to eviscerate him, wanting to look at him like a fool, but he has taught me some things instead. And I don't have a time over here. Oh my God, I don't have a time over here. So I will just do like a few minutes. This, you know, as usual, I will split. There are some things that are not for YouTube for real. So I will just if my OnlyFans blows up, I'm gonna start putting my readings over there if I can. I have no idea how OnlyFans works. I'm gonna check it out in detail this week. So I am just putting on the timer. I think I talked too much, so I will put on the timer for 20 minutes and hope that I am correct. So we're gonna look at Orlando Brown and Nick Cannon. He said Nick gave him head. I believe he said Nick gave him head. Oh my God, we still have one more person, P. Diddy. I will do both Nick and P. Diddy in this one, because I think Orlando Brown said, I have to ask myself this, because Lord knows. Orlando Brown says Nick Cannon gave him head. Nick Cannon gave him head, or who gave who head? I have to read this. Okay, what does he say? Claims Nick Cannon gave him oral sex while dressed as a woman.
Orlando Brown, the former Disney Channel star.
I remember this story. So he is claiming that Nick Cannon and P. Diddy both gave him head, because I think he said something about P. Diddy, Nick Cannon. I'm gonna go there. I'm going there, people. Yes, I am. Orlando Brown said Orlando Brown says P. Diddy gave him head. Did he say P. Diddy gave him head? Did he say that P. Diddy gave him head? Yeah, because he was saying, where are my babies, right? Okay, so this fits.
You know what I mean?
This fits. This fits. Okay, let's blow. So I'm gonna do both. And I'm gonna close it off. Both men, all three men, both incidents, and then I'm gonna close it off. Okay. Okay. Orlando. So Orlando has walked into the plate with like an Afro comb stash on his head. He's high. Today we got him while he is high. He is high. He is what do they call it? Hyper. And he won't sit down. He's just like, ooh. He will not sit down. And so I'm going to make him sit down. He's high. He's really, really high. And he's really, really filthy. I mean, physically filthy. Which means that he hasn't had a bath for a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't had a bath for a couple of days. And he is high. He is hyper. And yeah, obviously, this has been delayed. His ability for clarity and cohesiveness has been delayed today, but we're gonna work. We got, because we work with what we get. You know what I'm saying? We work with what we get. We must be entertained. So I'm gonna make him sit down, and then I'm probably gonna cover him with the blue. Okay, sit down, Orlando. Yeah, he's really out of his mind, but we don't care about that. So we're gonna cover him with the blue, and then I'm going to talk nonsense for like, wow. Okay, here we go. I'm going to talk nonsense. The blue is for health. Blue is the color of health. Blue is, in our religion, okay, the Bantu religion, where we actually have mermaids. So I don't understand the big deal about the mermaids being black. That's all we know. As Africans, we know that all mermaids are black. We don't know about you all. Anyway, in our religion, every color, all the ancestors you have, when they die, they fall under a certain color. Yellow, that's gold. That's money. That's water ancestor. This kind of blue, land ancestor. This kind of green, because you can't see it, but it's green, land ancestor. Black, land ancestor. White, land ancestor. Purple, water ancestor. Turquoise, water ancestor. The Xhosa are children of the water. All of them are children of the water. Water ancestors. They have turquoise. That's why the color of the Xhosa is turquoise, right? Anyway, orange, water ancestor. Red, two reds. There is red for water ancestor and red for land ancestor. Pink, water ancestor, stands for royalty. So if you get a pink traditional cloth, know that you come from royalty. I have them all. Purple, I have it, royalty. Gold, I have it, royalty. Pink, I have it, royalty. All royalty. Okay, he's calmer now. We can begin. Okay, Orlando. Now I'm calling Nick. Oh my God, and Nick falls out. He doesn't want to talk, but we do not give a damn because we're about that life. Okay, Nick Cannon, step into the plate. Nick, step into the plate. Nick, step into the plate. I can tell you that Nick does wear dresses. I can tell you that because he walked into the plate, and he saw was shifting from dress to pants, feminine kind of look to male kind of look, but he doesn't do it often, it fills him with shame, and he doesn't do it often. But just to throw out this tidbit, when he does wear women's clothes, he even wears the panties too. Ah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. I mean, I just had to throw that in because I saw that. They're nice panties too. Ah, they're very nice panties. Anyway, Nick walks into the plate. Nick walks into the plate and he's standing in front of Orlando. There is no passion between these two. Zero passion. Zippity doodah. No anger, no rage, nothing. You know, it's like you just had a thing with a person and you didn't even really, I don't know how to explain it. There is nothing between them. Okay, so I'm not saying that he gave this guy head just from what I'm seeing in the plate. I mean, I just, nothing. Okay, so Nick is air. His element is air. Somebody asked me to always talk about the elements when I do the. Nick is air. His element is air, and he he's air. Okay, his element is air, and he I'm waiting to be told what his other elements are. I'm just waiting like an idiot over here. His emotions are in water. His emotions are in water. So he's very emotional. He cries a lot. Okay, then underneath, fire. Okay, so how he sees the world as unjust, and is fired up about that. He wants to fight civil rights and so on. And he stands on earth, which makes him very balanced, very steadfast, and his life is consistent. Okay. Alrighty. So anyway, Nick and Orlando, show me your relationship. Nick and Orlando, show me your relationship. Nick and Orlando, show me your relationship. Show me your relationship, Nick and Orlando. Show me your relationship. Okay, the relationship has been, they still talk. They still connect. I'm finding that very interesting. They still, oh my God, they have a lot to do with each other. This is very surprising to my ass. Do you see this right here? These two people have a lot to do with each other. They just can't break the ties and be gone. They really can't. As usual, I'm finding it. I can't find. Here it is. So this is Nick. And this is Orlando. His life is going down, like we saw. And today it's even going further down. They are on opposite ends of the spectrum. If you can see, this is Orlando's life going down. If you can see, this is Nick's life going steady up. But this is what is impressing me right now. Money comes from Nick to Orlando. A lot of money. Okay, but Orlando just doesn't get the money just like that. Nick plays a game on Orlando, like he's got the money all tied up, so Orlando isn't getting any of it at all. At all. Does that make sense what I'm saying? It's not making sense to me and I'm saying it. It's not making sense to me, but I'm saying it. It's like Nick has given a fund of some kind to Orlando with conditions. Yeah, okay. Good. I just heard good. Okay. With conditions attached to them. So this is the conditions here. And I guess Orlando is not playing ball. So Orlando is not getting the money. He does it to shut him up. He did it to shut him up. Orlando is not getting the money. He's not. So basically, the money still belongs to Nick. Right? Basically, Nick isn't really giving any money because Orlando is breaking whatever contract that was put together to make him shut up. I just heard it was to make him shut up. So this thing between Orlando and Nick is gonna good. It still hasn't finished. The story still hasn't finished, people. The story is still going strong. We just haven't heard it yet. But it's a downhill story, though it is destructive to both Orlando and Nick. It is destructive to both of them. More to Orlando, though, than to Nick. I find that very interesting. Because Orlando is the one making all the accusations and Nick Cannon is ignoring it. But it almost appears like if Nick were to talk, it would be Orlando who would be destroyed. Okay. That's very interesting. When I was taking the shells like I usually do, I usually get something clearer that I wasn't getting before, as my clients would say, would know. And you too, because you've been with me for a while. I'm just gonna say it. It's like Orlando raped Nick. But Nick doesn't want to look some type of way. So he pays Orlando not to tell people that he raped him. And that's why he doesn't care about that business of Nick Cannon gave me head. That is why he does not care about it. Because Orlando did some shit. Okay, so now I have a storyline and I'm gonna go with it. Okay. Okay, and I am totally like gonna stop here because this is gonna get way too graphic and I do not want to get into trouble with this particular channel. So I'm gonna stop here. And if you want to listen to the rest of this, please go to Patreon where I am more free to delve into this. So be kind to yourselves, people. I'm beginning to be kind to myself. I spent this last week mourning my life choices, and I really did mourn them. I saw places and moments and times when I could have made a different decision and my life could have turned out way more different than it is now. It was right there in my face. I mean, in retrospect, you always see things more clearly. And so I mourned my stupid mistakes. I mourned my stupid decisions. I mourned the state of my life as it is today. After I thoroughly mourned, because, I love to live in that sort of space, I then woke up the next morning and the sun was shining and everything became possible again. I ain't no therapist. I am just a metaphysical scientist. But I think it helps to look at your life without pity before it's too late, because you can still make changes and you can still create something that is very, very good for you. Do not make excuses. Stand on your truth. Check out your mistakes, what you did wrong, why, what were you thinking at that time. And this is why the trajectory of your life, this path that you're on all by yourself, this gauntlet that you were given by God has turned out the way it has. There's consequences of our actions. So, I did that. And I woke up the next day and the sun was shining. And I started making more decisions. Time will tell whether they were the right ones or not. Be kind to yourselves. Be gracious to yourself. You are that important. See you on Patreon.